Now married and with a child, you figure all I have to do was to live happily ever after. No, not me, and certainly not Ulla. Thus, we began a new life. I call it my expansion life. Let's talk about it. Both Ulla and I obtained our PhDs in 1986. I then got an offer to work as a postdoctoral fellow at the National Animal Disease Center in Ames, Iowa. Soon it became clear that if we were going to have fulfilling lives, we were going to need two jobs. Thus began the cycle of multiple jobs, locations, and areas of development. Instead of citing them here, I'm going to list them in the comments below. We went from research to academia, to diagnostic pathology, and eventually to the pharmaceutical and biotechnology industries. We became supremely adaptable to our changing careers and domestic life. Our child had to adapt too. We could not count on family and friends to lend us a hand, so we rely on each other to survive every time we change jobs and environment. We three learned to handle adversity and insecurity. In the process, we were expanding our wisdom. Little by little, we seemed to be getting closer to normalizing our status in the US. However, it took years before we got permanent jobs so that we could become permanent residents of the US. In the process, we engaged in the multiple applications of pathology. Over and over again, the issue of two jobs in the same field, in the same location, kept showing up. This is why we were really happy when Hoffman-LaRoche hired the two of us in Nutley, New Jersey. By 1994, we both had permanent jobs. Yet, the company began to lay off people. And although we were not targets, we were very insecure about our position. This is why we began looking for jobs, yet again. In the end, we both settled for pathology support of discovery groups in the pharmaceutical and in the biotechnology industries. We were both pioneers in our field. This expansion phase of my life culminated on our last move to California. Ulla accepted a position at biotechnology giant Amgen, and I began my own consulting business named Pathometrics. I became a traveling salesman, and in the process, I learned about the Enneagram and the wisdom of Earl Nightingale. Both of these concepts are life-changing on their own, but they proved to be ideal for my newfound entrepreneurship. I already told you about the Enneagram in my previous video, so I refer you to that. With it, I learned to understand people better within minutes of our first interaction. This proved to be very useful in my business. Earl Nightingale, on the other hand, kept me motivated in an unexpected phase of my life. Earl Nightingale phrases such as "we become what we think about" and "success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal" are gold to me. His philosophy helped me understand my 20-year journey from Caracas to California and 12 locations in between. Through it all, I had to overcome many obstacles. Do you remember the lessons of my previous lives? Courage. the quest for knowledge, and love kept us both going. I learned about pathology, scientific research, trading options in the stock market, and how to tap into the power of computers. We settled in California into a comfortable life and became citizens of the United States. My fifth life was a series of smaller lives. The only constant was change. With every move, we learned, we adapted, we overcame adversity, but ultimately we grew. There was nothing easy or expected about our journey. Nothing was ever handed to us on a silver platter. Far from it. We believed that we were progressively realizing our goals of wisdom and stability, even when our lives seemed to be chaotic and difficult. With every change, I distanced myself from that little boy loser I told you about in my first video in this series. I can hardly imagine going back to my origins. If anyone asked me how to succeed in life, I would say, change the scenery around you. Look for new horizons to expand and to grow. Success should not be measured by financial growth, but rather by the fulfillment of your potentialities in the service of humanity. Don't be afraid of the unknown and trust your ability to overcome the obstacles in your path. And repeat to yourself that life is looking up. Thank you.